One of the great things about working with the guys at Quantum is they understand my needs as an angler. And they want to provide me with the very best equipment to be able to go out there and compete. I worked close with them to develop my series of crankbait rods, and we've been super successful with that. A lot of fishermen all over the country have improved their crankbait fishing abilities because of these rods. Not only do they give you the castability, but they give you the control, the sensitivity. I think it's the ultimate series for it. So, they're composite rods. They're a glass, an e-glass and graphite mix. So they're very lightweight. They're extremely sensitive, but they have those softer actions, or that softer response time, when your crankbait deflects off a stump, or it hits the, you're cranking it on the bottom and it's digging into the rocks or things like that, so that the bass get the bait, take it better, and you're gonna land a lot more of them. So it's really all about that slower response time compared to a pure graphite rod, to get the great deflection while you're cranking cover and hitting these objects out there. So on top of that, having that rod that loads and unloads really helps your castability. So you don't have to work very hard to launch a big crankbait like a 6XD or an 8XD or a 10XD and throw it out there 50, 60, 70 yards. It takes a lot less effort. It's almost kind of like a golf swing, if you use your whole body, I can just do a nice smooth follow through, and I can lob a cast out there and hit 50 yards with it with those baits. So these rods make it very easy to work these big plugs and things like that. So we have models from a 6.5 foot rod that I really use mostly for like throwing square bills around targets. Shorter rods are more accurate for casting, for castability. If you're fishing crankbaits and trying to throw them underneath boat docks or around laydowns and things like that, you're not trying to go for distance, you really need control. So we've got models from 6.5 feet up to the mid-range size, in the 7 footers, 7 foot medium heavy action, for your mid-range baits, your lipless crankbaits, your bigger square bills, things like that. If you want a little heavier action for fishing and grass, you can go to the medium heavy. We've got a 7.4, we've got two 7.10 models for the big baits like the 6XD, and we have a 7.11 heavy, which is designed for the biggest baits, like the 8XD, the 10XD, so that you have the power and the load capacity to throw those big plugs. So they're all composite, like I said. It gives you the best of both worlds. So you get the sensitivity of the graphite, so you can feel, a little bit of slime caught on one of your hooks and tell that your bait isn't wiggling exactly right. You can feel those subtle bottom composition changes when you're cranking, where it goes from, a little harder bottom to a little softer bottom, things like that. So, and they perform, when you're out there and you've got that fish on, it's that softer action. You're gonna land a lot more bass with them. So if you're throwing crankbaits, you really need to take a look at the Tour KVD crankbait series of rods, because I've won hundreds of thousands of dollars with it, probably millions of dollars with this series of rods now in my career. It's the foundation of a lot of my success.